Hey guys, this is Chunky Panda here, and welcome back to another episode of the Stanley Parable. And in the last episode, we got two endings that ended up killing us. We both ended up dying. And just like the last episode, I'm gonna go ahead and jump cut it to the part where I'm gonna start changing up the story. So I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, right here, upstairs to my boss's office. Instead of going up there, we're gonna go down here. What happens if I go down here?
But Stanley just couldn't do
Whoa,
it.
what?
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, of admitting that he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, was it really worth taking that risk?
Oh shit.
All because he believed everyone had disappeared? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
No, I'm not.
Everyone I know simply vanishing out of the blue, there's almost no other explanation for it.
Where am I going?
And a nagging fear began to creep up in his mind. Questions that had been there all along.
Did I just go in a circle?
He just hadn't put his finger on them yet. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Was he just walking around in circles?
I think so.
Where am I, he thought. And the more he found himself unable to answer these questions, the more questions continued to arise, until he came to the issue that had been slowly boiling until he could ignore it no longer. Why is there a voice in my head, dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yes.
Suddenly, every door slammed shut. No, Stanley
Oh,
screamed.
shit.
I need to get out of here. I need to know that there's something out there. I need to know it's not just all in my head. And he screamed and clutched at his skull
Oh.
as the voice grew harsher and the music in the background rose higher and higher.
What the hell?
And then, moments before collapsing to the ground, Stanley clenched his fists and screamed to anyone who might be listening, "I'm not real! I'm not real! Don't believe any of it! None of it's real!" And then everything went black.
Wow.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She got dressed, went to work, clocked in, clocked out, and then she walked home. But her walk on this day was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Jeez.
Moments after seeing him, she would turn, run to the nearest police station, and call for an ambulance. But for just a few brief seconds, she merely stood there, unable to move.
Well then.
The tragedy was not the death of a single person. It was that she would never know this man's story, never hear in his own words what had happened to him, or what he believed had happened to him. For to know these things would be to exist inside the head of the man himself. So all she could do was observe from a distance and pity him. But Mariella
Wow.
had places to be and people to meet with, very important people, whose impressions of her would affect her career and indeed the rest of her life. She stood there for only a moment, looking down at the body, and then she wept.
What a shitty ending. Man, is there any happy ending if you don't follow this dude's instructions? Alright, that was only about 5 minutes, so that's pretty short. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do one more attempt. So yeah, I didn't save. I will see you guys in a bit again. Okay, if you guys remember at this part, he tells me to go up. So we're gonna see if I can just go ahead and make the elevator go down.
Oh, Stanley. You know, you really aren't going anywhere, and I don't say that deceitfully. I truthfully mean that there isn't a story down here. The story was back up where I told you to go in the first
Well, I want to
place.
see.
Right now, you're just running around looking at empty halls. And frankly, that's perhaps even more infuriating for me. So why don't you throw me a bone, give me a chance, and just let me tell the story I want to tell,
Okay. Let's see what happens when I go over here then.
Now listen carefully. This is important.
Okay.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Red. We'll try going through the red door first, and then the last one will go through the blue.
Good.
No?
Good. Now, if you don't mind, there's something I'd like to show you. But to do that, I think it would be best for us to start from the beginning.
Really?
This is a very sad story about the death
What?
of a man named Stanley.
How did I die?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Good morning.
His job pushing buttons demanded little of him, so there was not much of himself to give.
Press B on your
And
keyboard.
in this way, Stanley's job felt less and less like his every day. But if buttons need pushing one day, it means they'll need pushing the next
Press
and
Y.
then the next. So without question or judgment, Stanley continued to do what the screen told him.
Shut up.
One keystroke flowed into another keystroke, flowed into his ride home, flowed into dinner, flowed into waking up, flowed into going to work,
Oh my
and here he
God.
was again. Stanley was typing out a complete sentence that said absolutely nothing at all. If in reality no one ever actually disappeared from the office, and Stanley never got the opportunity to make a decision, to choose which path he wanted to take, would his life still have any meaning? Perhaps when we long for something deeply enough, these hopes and fantasies become so strong in our minds that we truly believe that we're there, controlling that person and living that adventure.
Yay.
To manipulate your own thoughts and emotions might mean freedom from a self-imposed prison, but these delusions can be fatal to those who can't tell the difference. And so, Stanley asked, if that door never opened, if I'll never be able to walk away from those people and from these buttons, is this life still worth experiencing? Am I actually happy? Stanley answered this question by pushing a button.
Whoa.
Then he pushed a button, and then he pushed a button.
That's
Then
mean.
he pushed a button. Then he pushed a button.
Shut up. That's it. I push buttons and I die. Oh, that was terrible. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do the last ending because I know there's only 6 endings to this game and I've already gotten 5 of them. So might as well just finish it now. So I'll see you guys in a bit again when I get to the color doors. I guess we're gonna go to the blue door this time. Let's do it.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
I think you misunderstood, Mr. Asshole Narrator. I'm going through the blue one.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Fuck you, you got rid of the blue door. I'm going back.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
What?
don't let me stop you.
What?
You
What
see?
is this?
It's nothing. No one's even built this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Oh well.
It's just a bunch of skybox and dev wall textures. That's it. Is this what you were looking for? Was it worth ruining the story I'd written out for you?
Maybe.
I put a lot of time into that, and now you... Well, here you are now, just looking at nothing. To think that that's all I needed to make in the first place, just a whole lot of nothing, and you would have been happy. Well, hey, you still need a little something to do. Am I right? Here, let me load up another map. See if there's something in here that'll keep you occupied.
Thank you.
Ah, here's one. Let's boot this up. We'll see if you like it.
Oh, cool. It's actually gonna boot up. I thought it was gonna be the end or something. Node graph out of date? Oh my goodness, this is the Half-Life 2
Well,
map.
Stanley,
Or
is this any
beginning.
better? I don't know why it would be. This map wasn't even made for you. At least I created a world specifically with you in mind. I wanted to make you a leading man. This one, well, I'm afraid you're on your own now.
This is supposed to be Gordon Freeman's map. This is hilarious. Hello.
Stanley was fat and
Hey.
and really, really stupid.
Hey.
He probably only got his job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That, or with drug
money, no.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
No, I'm not. Now you're being a liar. I'm not a phony like that. I'm gonna go in here. Am I really gonna go through this whole thing?
Hold up, Oswald.
shit.
I spent so long talking about you. Why don't we just take a break from that and talk about something else for a change?
Okay.
Let's see. Well, according to Wikipedia, more than 90% of the night sharks caught off northeastern Brazil contain mercury concentrations higher than that considered safe by the local government. Now, this is fascinating. Don't you want to know more about the night sharks?
No.
Oh, no, of course not. All you want to hear about is yourself, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, fine. You haven't listened to me once so far. I can't expect you to turn that around now, can
Nope. Moving on up.
Is this the end of the line? I don't suppose this was a particularly fulfilling experience for you, considering not a single art aspect in this map was created with you in mind.
Oh well.
But hey, you're a creative kid. I bet you can come up with a story about this place and why you're in it. And while you're doing that, why don't you think up an ending too?
Okay.
Because you certainly won't find one here. I'm afraid that's the long and short of it. This room and these walls are all you get. Maybe the story ends when you decide you can't live in this futuristic science fiction dystopia world, and you gallantly commit
Why do I
suicide.
have to die?
Or maybe you stand in this spot for all of eternity to guide and greet other travelers like yourself who pass this way. Or maybe you just get bored and you quit the game.
Probably that last one.
Anything's an ending if that's where you stop playing. But whatever ending you write for yourself, Stanley, you won't have my help. You turned your back on me, and now I do the same to you. So, good luck. I think you'll need it. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Okay. This is the story of Chunky Panda, and he's doing a let's play of the Stanley Parable, and he got all 6 endings, yay! And the first ending was the good ending, but that was incredibly, like, boring, not fun at all. We never really figured out what happened to your coworkers or why I'm being controlled. A lot of unanswered questions. It would be really cool if they like expanded on this mod, made some more, either like a new thing or added more choices for me to make and more endings. That would be fun. But yeah, this is where the end of Chunky Panda story is gonna happen, where I thank you guys for watching, and you guys can click the annotations for more games that I've played. And until the next next video, I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye. Sorry I ruined your story, narrator.